What's up, my people? What's up, my homies? What's up, my friends? I'm Gnarly Vato, and these are Gnarly Times. Well, today I'm gonna talk about my homeboy Nate Dogg and when he got snaked on. Well, around this time, I used to live in a gated community, and I'm gonna tell more stories about that community where I stayed in. That's some crazy other stuff. Well, the reason this I ask myself too, why do you want to tell these stories? But I want to talk about the way people are, the character. Just I don't know, and keep my homeboy Nathan's name alive. We made a vow never to forget. Well, at this time, my homeboy P used to stay with me. He had some little issues and he had to post up, so we like, do what you gotta do. And anyways, well, at the time, Nate used to cruise around a lot. He used to cruise around the streets. I'd be seeing him like, "What's up?" Be like, and he was on his way somewhere. But he would be wrong with different homeboys from the ESV, VCP, all different homeboys. So I think that's why when he got murdered, they plotted on him. That's what people don't like to hear the truth, but I gotta tell the truth. Well, at this time, these they were gonna have a junta, right? And it was gonna be the West Side and ESV and VCP, right? So they're having it somewhere right here by the West Side. I'm not sure. I think it was by Town and Country or somewhere. I don't know. Well, my homeboy Nate like, "Hey, check it out. We're gonna go, and I'm gonna give you heads." He gave me like 2 week notice. Like, "I'm gonna let you know when it happens. So be ready." So I was like, "All right." Well, he the type of person Nate was. He like some Hondas came out and he seen them. He liked them. He's like, "You know what? I'm gonna buy me one." And sure enough, this fool went got one. He comes rolling up, boom, cruising. Bumping little beat system, and I'm like, "Look at this fool. That's pretty crazy," but that was cool. That's the kind of type of person who went and got it, And, well, when I was there chilling, right, me and my old lady, my wife, and my homeboy P, right? It was on the weekend, like Saturday. And I'm there chilling, and I get a phone call from him. He's like, "Hey, we're going to go to that junta today. I'm going to go by there." It was just going to be me and him, right? Well, I was like, "All right." So when I knew it was him, he would, cause I lived right off of the 190 by the Sunrise, a little gated community. So he'd get up in there. I didn't give him no code, no nothing, but he would just wait for a car and follow him in, and you hear, bumping. So I knew it was him. So I heard the system bumping, and I jumped up and I went to get ready and get my clothes on. And my old lady's like, "Where you going?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna roll over here for a little while." She's like, "You ain't gonna go nowhere." And I'm like, "Yeah, I already made some plans. I'm gonna go chill for a minute, go meet some people, and so we go. This is why I want to tell the story, because some of these fools are cutthroat, but that's why I regret this situation, because I never made it there. But she's like, "Where you going?" And I'm like, "I'm going right here." And she's like, "No, you ain't." Blah, blah, blah. Just started on me. And just, blah, blah, blah. And we just started arguing. And he's like, and that's one of the last times I seen him, because he walked in, he like, "What's up, you ready?" And he had blue jeans on and a white shirt and some Air Maxes and the red and white ones, and he always had a little hat, but he didn't wear it when he was driving. He get pulled over. He didn't wear red, Well, so at this time, she's yelling at me, and when and he's a nice dude, and he goes, "What, Barry?" They kind of, she started having words with him, and he didn't like to argue. And he's like, this, you know. And I told my homeboy Paul P, I go, P, go, fool. Roll with Nate. You know? Because we're tight. And I told him, go with Nate. And he's like, all right, so, you know. He's always dressed like they up in the county jail. Suited and booted. So he ended up rolling, you know. And they leave. And I said, my bad, bro, I can't go. She like, and so she was on me. I didn't go. And well, anyways, these guys go, right? And why hear the story later from both people? And the reason, and he didn't really tell me the whole deal yet. But if I would have known, I would have made more preparations, you know, like he just said, we're going to meet a little junta, this and that. And I was like, well, at the time, we're outnumbered. The West was, you know, there's not many of us older homeboys. Well, just the little ones that were coming up. So a lot of these fools used to try to bully us, you know, because we were little numbers. And even in juvenile hall, went to juvenile hall, they tried to jam up Nate. It's a big home from the ESV. And I think they even, boom, threw a few punches, you know. But they ended up being tight later on. And we ended up, the homeboy too that got into, we were tight too. But that's another story. Well, they ended up splitting, right? And I'm there, I was arguing, why is it leaving? And I ended up coming back. They ended up coming back. Oh, I can't even remember how the whole thing did, but I know. I don't know if it was that night but when they came back or when P came back, these fools like, the homeboy Nate, they got into some shit, you know? Well, at the time, when Nate went to prison twice. He went as a YA. After he went YA, he was an M number. And then he did like 6.5 years, whatever it was. Got out, did 2.5, and then he was posted for a while until he got murdered. So at times, fool, I'm gonna throw his name out there, Fool Kukui. You know, he was out there running shit. You know, everybody was scared of him. You know, that was my end right out the gate because we, you know, like I said in my last videos, I went to jail for his uncle. We were involved in his uncle's death, 4 of us, you know, and Nate was one of them who they say in the papers, you know, that stabbed him. And he confessed, Nate confessed. So he got buzzed for manslaughter, you know. So after about 17.5, he went to wit. They sent him something like that. I know before 18 they sent him to prison, something like that. He was one of the earliest guys. He was the youngest guy tried in Tulare County as an adult at the time, in '95. So when they go to this junta, right? They roll up and the homeboy Nate never seen Kukui, right? And so these guys go and the homeboy P's out there talking to homeboy's knee side, shaking hands. What's up, homie? What's up? You know, and Nate's there chilling. He knew some homeboys been out a lot, meeting some, and you know he wore glasses. So these at the time they he's there just I don't know if he didn't like to drink, so I don't know if he was drinking. I doubt he was drinking there because this fool's always on his toes, right? So he just tell me, why are you drinking all the time? You know, I'll be like, that's what I do. But this fool was trained different. He was a different breed. So this fool, he said he's chilling there, right? And he's looking, and he sees all these fools up in the house, right? He never seen Kukui. So he's saying he's chilling there. They're talking to homeboys from the east side. And so him and P are talking right here, right? And there's other little homies. But there's only 2 homies from the west there. So they say, P's right here talking, well, what have you, Nate? Well, these homeboys are coming out, I guess, you know, because they had music bumping. But he said the homeboys that are in the pad came out, and that was VCP, right? When they rolled at the time, they rolled like a dozen deep, you know. So if you got into it, with one of them, you're gonna get jumped right then. You know, so that's when like times they used to try to get me, I'd have to catch some one-on-one. You know, well, at the time, they said Nate's there chilling, talking to homeboy, and this fool, Kukui, rolls up, creeps up on Nate, right? And Nate's just chilling, I guess. Right? Probably, I don't know. And they say fool Kukui goes and hits Nate right in the side of his head, on his mouth, you know, boom. Nate, they said Nate dog fell. Right? And my homeboy, he one of my heroes. You know what I'm saying? That fool been a lot, so I always admired that dude. He was big, you know, and this fool. And when I heard it, that's why I was. But who knows? Maybe it was best I didn't go, because maybe I would have got killed by this fool, because that fool, Kukui, knew me. You know what I'm saying? He wanted blood. So this fool dropped Nate. Boom, right? Nate fell, and this what I heard from both stories. Well, anyway, they said Nate fell, and the homeboy P tried to he ain't gonna do much, but he's like, what the, whatever, try to get up in. They said the homeboy's knee his feet, grabbed him, and said, "Hey, homie, it's one-on-one." One-on-one, huh? That's the games they play. Where we come from, That's a one-on-one. Getting cold cop, dropped. Well, when they're holding the homeboy P, they got up, right? Woke up. And I doubt that was probably the first time you ever got knocked out, Nate Dogg. And that's how bad he was. You had to knock this fool out or kill him, But they said Nate got up, and and all the fools around, and, they had the homeboy. There's only two homeboys, so they're outnumbered. There's 60, 70 fools there from both of the hoods. Except us, just two. So then the homeboys go one-on-one, right? So Nate got up and went, right? I'm imagining that's what they say. And what they said, Big Nate went, took off his shirt. And all the homeboys, because by then all the little homies and youngsters were there. What's called rolling, surrounding it's gonna be a one-on-one, and then they go, all right. So then they're posted, right? They're all surrounding. They said when Nate took off his shirt, because he's the only whitest homeboys there, and because he's a güero, blue eyes, last name Buford. So they said when Nate took off his shirt, because they're like, why the hell Kukui knock out this fool? He's a white fool, whatever, because the way the thought process are, Well, because Kukui's scared, but he ran the whole town, I believed. Everybody was scared of him. I was little, but I was, you know what I mean? You got to battle. You got to do what you got to do to survive. And I wasn't going to be the one, Well, that's why I think I had PTSD, because I was dodgy, like a tweaker moving. His food be, we're out hunting. So anyways, when Nate took off his shirt, they said it was like a movie. Everybody goes, what? And Nate was blasted. He didn't have nothing where you could see on his arms, under his shirt. Well, and what he had was photos. Boom, big, and he was big. He had West Side. He had it from the Marble Pack. They got it from. I guess at the time they had cigarettes up in there. Then he had all kinds of Aztec and pyramids and Jaguar, all right here. Warriors and women. And then the back, he had a big Huelga bird. Big as his back, with Tulare County on it. It was crazy. We used to go down up to the river swimming, and they take off their shirts. They fool busting eyes everywhere. We're even my brother, you can see his a mile away. That's why I never really wanted tattoos, because my brother used to get them all, and I'm they're gonna be like, oh, now you're following your brother, you follow him as it is, now you're following with tattoos. So I try to be my own man, do my own things. Even though I had to stay up in my lane, do what I had to do. But anyway, they say when Nate took his thing off, boom, and it was like, not like that, but I imagine like, like the prison yard pose. And they ended up squaring up, and Nate, well, I think it was bigger than this fool, right? But poof, poof, poof. They say Nate Dogg was on him, and well, they say they went a few rounds. I think like 3 rounds. But at the time, this fool Kukui got dropped many times after that. After he snaked my homeboy. And so when he got dropped a few times, they one time like spit out his tooth. Nate knocked his tooth out. Right? So all this time he was whooping this fool's ass around all the homeboys. And all the little homeboys you know what I mean? Like my homeboys at the time, age, because they were allowing them there. They didn't like our little homies there, because a lot of times our homies had something to prove, because the fools getting bullied, they're outnumbered, So that's why a lot of these fools join these gangs, because you get pressured. They're telling, where you from? You from this side? You from this? Like, bro, leave me alone. They keep pushing you like, yeah, I'm from this side. So that's how these fools get up in that. So when they beat him, they said Kukui like, yeah, estuvo. Right? When I heard about it, hell yeah, that's one for the movies. Now, it was a cold situation, Nate Dogg got hit. But in the end, this fool came out the champ. But to me, I believe that was a day that Kukui plotted my homeboy's death, because he got his whole life was what's called doing, representing, putting down for the town, for his neighborhood, trying to be the biggest, baddest dog in the yard. And don't get me wrong, he was doing the job right, So when Nate he snaked my homeboy, dropped him, he thought, oh, Nate would go to sleep. That's why sometimes you can't. Fools knock you down, you got to get up and do what you're capable of. Don't doubt yourself. When you start doubting yourself, it'll be done. I'll be over, done. Ain't nothing wrong with little butterflies, you know what I mean? But when you start doubting yourself, don't do it. So when Nate Dogg, I believe, that was the time it was going down. It was a plotting. So when all these little homies seen this, they're just amazed with Nate. How he just beat the biggest bully up in town. And the one he had went to jail, because he actually, Kukui was our victim's nephew, So it was a bad situation in the end, and it was just like, we had to duck and dodge. I did. But Nate Dogg used to cruise around town just like not invincible, but like his town. After that, everybody loved Nate. Homies from the east side, the west side heard about it. All the homies little homies from VCP, And that's the time, I think, when even the homie Maniac, he had got murdered. And I knew Maniac too. That fool was up in YA. I met him at the river, up in Camp with Sean. He was rolling through. And like I said, we were posted, but that's another story. So in the end, Nate Dogg got snaked on, got up, beat this fool, knocked his tooth out. This fool gave up like a match tapping. Yeah, estuvo. Even when I fought him, I didn't even give up. When he caught me slipping in the river. I wanted to. I didn't want, I said, I didn't want to fight. But that's how vicious and scary this fool was. Because he didn't care. He had, I believe, no conscience. Just a straight little psychopath since he was young. But I wish him well. I don't have no ill will to him. Because he was raised like that. Well, this is one of the tales in my life, a gnarly tale, and sometimes I wish I was there, but I felt I let him down, And it just, I was sad for a while, and I was and mad, but he's like, don't even worry about it. It would have happened if you were there. I would have probably seen him like, there's that fool right there. But who knows? It probably would have been worse. Probably would have got shot, killed. You know, instead of getting that happening, a one-on-one after you get snaked on. Well, that's a gnarly tale in my life, and I hope this, kind of wakes people up. In the end, just stay by yourself. Be by yourself. Live your own life. You know, do for your family. Be better. See, let's get out of this mindset. Well, I'm Gnarly Vato, and these are Gnarly Times. Have a good one.